All right, the Colorado Avalanche with a victory on opening night, 4-1 against the Los Angeles Kings. A lot to talk about, obviously, so let's get to it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson, and I think his cat is joining us today.
He's kind of joining. He's sort of, he wants to be part of it, but not necessarily fully in the scene.
Well, he cats and dogs are always welcome on Locked On Avalanche. So, thank you everybody for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day. That's always appreciated. If you want to get in on the conversation, join our Subtext. You chat with Zach and I one-on-one, get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. We'll do that a little bit later as they chime in and give their thoughts on this 4-1 opening day win for the Avs. So, yeah, that's what we're covering today. We'll get to stats and bringing back the sound check. Zach gets his first sound check in the mix. Well, technically your second, but actually no, because when you were like a guest, I think you threw out some sound checks back then too. Did you not? I don't know if you did.
I don't know if I threw one in for the sound check.
Either way, it's back. The sound check is back. So we'll get to that a little bit later. So let's start right at the top, man. Like it's always good to get the opening day win, no matter what the sport is, because you just feel like when you win, you're going undefeated. When you lose, you're losing every game of the year. So it just, you can actually just settle in for the next couple days till the Avalanche play again and just be comfortable that you got the first win under your belt. You got the 2 points. You don't have to deal with the is this a recreation of last year's start? All of the stuff that comes with that. Was it perfect? No, by no means was it perfect. It was ugly at times, penalty-filled game. But the second period was what won this thing for the Avalanche. But give me your overall thoughts, and then we'll kind of just go piece by piece.
I mean, started off for sure really ugly. The Avs did not seem to have a ton of control over the game, I thought, in the very early goings of it. In fact, it kind of looked like LA was going to sort of hold the pace of the game. I felt like every time the Avs tried to establish in the zone or do anything, they would just lose control of the puck, and the Kings would kind of push it back into our zone, had us hemmed in a couple of times. Second period starts, or actually really the end of the first period, second half of the first period. And then the second period was just Avs hit the gas and they never let up from there. So it was, I mean, overall, when you win 4-1, you feel pretty dominant. There's plenty of things that I feel like we could nitpick on and probably will do over the next couple of days. But like you said, when it's your first game, you can get it out of the way. Not only are you not starting off like you did last year, you do it in a pretty dominant fashion. You feel good. And so the next couple of days become a lot more of all right, we can breathe and then we can adjust. And I think that's what the Avs do.
Yeah, it was like, it was not a perfect game by any stretch, but you won it 4-1.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. This wasn't like, a grind and you're having to grind out a 2-1 win or something like that. You still put up 4 points because what the second period brought was what this team is capable of.
Exactly.
I didn't like that it kind of like went backwards in the third, and it was back to a little like sloppy play and all that. But in the first, the Kings were everywhere. The Kings looked good. They were forechecking hard. They were right on the Avs, giving them no time and space. And I don't know what changed for them. Maybe it was just the Avs just kicking it into another gear. Excuse me. But yeah, about halfway through the first and then all of the second, it was just like the Avalanche were the aggressors without a doubt. And it was nice to see that and it was really coming from all four lines. And I even posted on social about like, I thought after the first, the worst line, not to say that they were bad, but the worst line was the top line.
Was the top line for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, all the other lines looked pretty solid.
I have a note from the end of the first period, like just trying to write down all my thoughts throughout the game. And at the end of the first, I wrote down Gavin Brindley is really impressing me. And on the fourth line, he played with energy. He had some speed. He was aggressive. He did end up making a couple of mistakes through the game as well, which it's his second NHL game. So to be expected. But man, yeah, you're not joking. That third and fourth line, they looked good.
I think whatever line Brindley is playing on, that could be like an energy line. You know what I mean? You're going to get the energy line from wherever Nathan McKinnon's playing. But it's nice to have like another guy that can bring that when needed and just bring something to if the team is just down and out and they're just slogging through, he's a guy that can give you a shift that just reinvigorates the team. And you don't always have to rely on Nathan McKinnon to do that or Cale Makar to do that. Like that that was really good, but sure, it was him. And really that fight that broke out, it's maybe that's what turned it for the Avalanche in the first, really.
I think it energized them. I hate that fight. It was such a clean hit from Manson. There's
we
no
talked about
reason
this
to
not
go
that
drop.
long ago.
Yeah,
about
I know.
when a clean hit is delivered and there's got to be a fight. Like why? It's just an embarrassment thing. Manson with a massive hit on Fogel, and then he gets into a fight, and that really kind of turned the tide. I'm thinking about it after that for the first. Yeah,
I like John Buccigross. If I had to hear one more time about how I can't even think of his name right now. I have it in my notes, but how his brother was a UFC fighter. Like, his brother fights in the UFC. His brother's a UFC fighter. I'm like, you keep saying this as he's just getting beaten by Josh Manson. And it looks like Manson got some stitches, but I completely agree.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, it looked like the top of his eye was split open, and that might be why he wasn't out there to start the second period in the box. But
all right.
No, I think like that whole sequence, while I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, it had the exact opposite effect of what I think the Kings wanted. I think the Kings wanted to just step up their energy and try to take complete control over the game. And instead, what I think it did is it just ignited the entire Avalanche team. And they didn't look back from that point. From that point on, it was almost 100% Avs, it felt like.
Yeah. Yeah, who was it? I can't remember who the guy, whatever, doesn't matter who he fought. But it was just, I didn't really expect a fight like that after that hit, although I should have.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way we talked about this a week or so ago. I thought there was going to be like some pushing and shoving and stuff like that. Because I get that part, but like dropping the gloves because of it just didn't. I don't get that stuff. But hey, that's the way it is. And then fast forward to the end of the game, and Brant Clark is playing with fire here. I don't know if he was just like, hey, the game's over. I'm just going to start gooning it up here. But anybody that's coming in front of him, he's just cross-checking them. And I think the Avs just had it. They just had it with them. And that's how the Avalanche address this stuff. They don't go like head hunting and looking to pick fights. But if you're going to do just goon stuff like that, they're not going to stand for that. And that's where guys like Brent Burns can stand in and just, be the towering figure of, you're not going to mess with my guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just, I like that part of the game in hockey, but at the same time, it's like, but if you're doing it where there could be like serious injury here, and what Clark was doing was, cross-checking in the back. It was Lecking in that he kind of went headfirst into the boards.
Headfirst into the boards over Wedgwood too. I mean, all of that.
Yeah. And Wedgwood, he was kind of checking his wrist afterwards.
Yeah,
like,
I know. And it's like, not a fan of that. Yeah. So I have no problem with McKinnon's interference penalty necessarily there, because it looked like it was, it probably should have been a roughing more than an interference, because he just went straight over and blasted.
I don't care what it was. Yeah.
All right, Mac. I'm kind of all right with that one too. But and they said it on the broadcast here, and this one I agreed with. I do think that Landeskog's fight in the preseason 100% kind of set up some of this tone to be maintained throughout the entire season. And they've already carried it over into game one. These guys aren't going to stand for shenanigans like that. So not bad.
Nope. All right, let's get our first break in here, and we'll come back. We'll discuss kind of individual players as far as like, the goal scored. Martin Necas. 2 right off the bat.
Yep.
So we'll talk about him, Nathan McKinnon, now the all-time leader in points for the Avs. And of course, we'll just get to more stats. Of course, that sound check coming up. So we'll do all of that coming up next. Let's hear from Indeed. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. So how can you find amazing candidates fast, easy? Just use Indeed. And when it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. So now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support Locked On Avalanche by saying you heard about Indeed on this very podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need. All right. So, the goal scoring gets started by none other than Martin Necas.
Yep.
And it's almost like this happens all the time. This happened last year, Zach, whenever Mikko Rantanen would score a goal, people were like, "Oh, there's another $1 million. Oh, there's another." And it's kind of that's going to happen for Martin Necas now. So when he scores, you get 2 in the first game. We've gone from 10 to 10.5, and then Kaprizov signing up to 11.5, and then McDavid signing back to maybe 10.5, and now we scored 2 goals. Now we're at 14.
Yep.
Now we're going way over everybody.
I'm surprised you're you're as low as 14. I think that, and actually that's my stat for the next one has to do with Marty Necas and his goals and his contract. So we'll definitely get to that here in that third segment. But no, I agree. Like opening up the scoring there, man, I really felt like he probably could have had a power play goal to begin with, but his power play goal, it really to me felt like because he gets the puck on his stick and just rips it far side. And just is like, so the Avs to that point were 1 for 4 on the power play. And I think this made them 1 for 5. But just as soon as that puck hit his stick, he moves into position and rips the shot home. And it almost felt to me like, fine, if no one else is going to score on the power play, I'm just going to do it so that we can have a power play goal. And absolutely love it. And I don't not to say, oh, nobody else was playing well on the power play, because even at 1 for 6, I actually thought it looked pretty good. It looked dangerous, really dangerous at times.
Like they're gonna get their goals, right?
Yeah.
Like they're just too good. And I always have a hang up with the Avs is the zone entry for the power play. But I thought it like you saw the looks that they are gonna go with this year. It's still the drop back pass to MacKinnon, but now they're kind of doing like the double drop back pass.
I know.
So they're going to Necas, and it's like, hey, make the decision, because everybody's expecting the drop back to MacKinnon, and he's hanging back there. But they did it a couple times. Cale Makar did it once too. And if they're going to give it to you, if they're going to play the drop back for MacKinnon and just wait for that, that should open things up for you. Just walk into the zone.
Yeah.
So do it. And Makar did it once, and you're right with the Necas one. So that to me, like that was such a point of just it was the bane of my existence last year. Just the zone entries, the same thing over and over and over and over again. But this, like that they still went to MacKinnon a ton on the dropbacks because that is your best option. But if there's something there, take it. Take what they give you and just get into the zone. So I thought that was a lot better. And you see the movement. You see plays developing. It's no longer just Nathan McKinnon just on the left side and pitch a catch with Cale Makar.
Yeah,
it's just different. It looks different. The results will come. 1 for 6 looks bad, but the results will come as the games go on. So I'm right. It's ugly, but it's gonna get there.
I did think to myself with the double drop back pass, my first thought when I saw that was, well, we know the drop back doesn't really work. So what about 2 drop backs?
What is this? I've never seen this before. Yeah.
Mind blown. No, but I agree. It looked like they had a little bit more leeway to kind of go in on their own. I liked Makar's zone entry when he had that choice. He went ahead and kind of stepped in. Necas had a couple of those, and a couple of times they did drop it right back to MacKinnon, who then charged forward and went in.
Yep.
I thought when the second power play unit was out, Val really looks good, man. I'm surprised he did not get anything tonight. And Burns quarterbacking that second power play looked pretty sharp. I liked his passing. I wasn't a huge fan of his shot as much for the couple of shots that he managed to get off, but his passes were crisp and like tape to tape. So I definitely like what he's bringing on that as well. And yeah, Val is going to score some power play goals and some regular goals and be a force for this team because he looked good.
Yeah. Just talking about the goals, like I said, the Necas one, the first one, that's just, and that, that's Nathan McKinnon just commanding people just follow him. You had almost like 4 guys kind of just zeroing in on him, kind of like not all around him, but following him. And then you just see Necas just with a nice, just slide across right in front of, not right in front of Kemper, but in the house basically. And it's difficult enough when you're Nathan McKinnon, you have that many guys following you, but then to get that pass through all of those guys right to Necas for the goal is beautiful. And we kind of take things like that for granted because it's Nathan McKinnon, but that is insanely difficult to do.
Did you notice the ref's arm go up too? He got hooked as he goes past those guys.
I didn't see that. So really.
That was technically
that's all defenders can do.
Penalty. Yep. And so not only that, but he's pulling guys with him. He's getting hooked. He maintains the puck, pulls it behind the net, and then gets a pass out to Necas, who can just hammer it home.
Yep.
And it was a beautiful shot by Martin Necas. Like tons of credit to him there. But my goodness, watching Nate just go through a hook, not lose the puck, not lose composure, get around the back of the net, get that pass back out front. The guy's a freaking wizard.
Yep.
And I think he's only out-wizarded by Cale Makar because MacKinnon's goal, my goodness, Cale
beautiful
makes the shot, dances forward, like just I don't know. How do you do that? I don't understand how you are able to do that on blades on ice, no less.
It's crazy.
But like just beautiful play by Makar too. Absolutely blew my mind right there.
If he was able to score that goal, I mean, we're already looking at one of the best goals of the season in game number 1. But but also, that's kind of what you want to see from MacKinnon this year too, is just clean stuff up right in the net front, and that's what he was good positioning. For a rebound right off the pads of Kemper, and he's there. He got hit pretty good, but he can take that stuff. And great rebound goal for him. I was happy to see Sam Malinsky get on the score sheet with a goal too.
I thought
right inside the blue line, solid shot. I think he just. I think it was Kelly. Was it Parker Kelly? Wow, they have that unassisted. So maybe that must have been it must have been a clear attempt, because I know Parker Kelly was on the opposite side in the corner with a defender on him, and the puck just kind of like scooted right. So maybe that was a clear. That was an attempted clear from a Kings player.
And some credit to Malinsky there too, because earlier in the game, it looked like he was struggling a little bit keeping the puck in the zone on his offside. A couple of times it just kind of hopped over. And again, to be expected, he's still working through it. He was on his offside there. He caught that puck with his, I think he was maybe even a little bit turned around, but just gets himself face towards the net, fires it off, keeps it in the zone, and immediately fires it for the goal. Yep. So big credit to him. I mean, that's steps forward in the game that you're witnessing real time as he's getting better. I loved seeing that too, because as we talked about, we both were kind of hoping he would have a good season, and that's a good way to start.
Great way to start. Yeah. So, and then you had the second Necas goal on the power play, and the Kings get one late. It was a 6-on-3, I think it was. They
just did the 5-on-3.
They did the 5. They pulled the goalie after that.
For the 5-on-4.
5-on-4.
They made that a
6-on-4. Got it right. Okay, so and that was they got that one goal. So 5-on-3 is how the Kings could break through.
Yep.
Okay, I'll take that.
Kind of have to, and it's hard to put that on Wedgie because man, did he have a good game?
Great game.
He deserved the shutout.
Yeah.
I mean, the 5-on-3 does take it away, and it's hard to put that on him. it is going to count as a goal against. But yeah, he played fantastic because there were a couple of times where I watched him push across the crease, get into better position. He squared up on the puck almost every time the Kings have it. And even when they're passing back and forth and going cross ice pass, he's just squared up and anticipating and doing it very well.
Yeah.
So I was very happy with his performance too.
And you knew the Kings had to come out and kind of throw everything they could in the third, being down what they were. And they had 14 shots on goal in the third, where they only had 11 total in the first and second. So solid defensive work by the Avs in the first and second anyway. So, I mean, like I said, a lot of penalties though. So there was some ugliness to it, even though like we're talking about Martin Necas now, he had those 2 goals and those are great. He was fighting the puck a few times in this game.
Yeah.
There were times where he'd overskate the puck or he'd whiff on a pass, didn't get a good, direct pass to somebody. But I just attribute that to game 1.
Agreed.
And, I think there might be, I hope there's not people who are like, oh, take the 2 goals away. And he was like pedestrian. Well, you can't take the 2 goals away. That's not how this works. It's included in the outcome. So,
and if you take away everything bad that he did, he's the best player in the world. Yeah.
Yes, he's amazing. So, but there's other stats I want to get to in terms of this game. So we'll do that, hear from the Subtext crew, and then get to our sound check and wrap this thing up. We'll do all that coming up next. All right, first we're going to hear from FanDuel, and the NFL season is, of course, here. And FanDuel has an offer that you don't want to miss. And right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That $300 is still sticking around. It's been $300 since the beginning of the football season, but I don't know. I honestly don't know how long that's going to be around. Usually it's $100, $150, but they did $300 to start the football season. So I would say if you're going to sign up for FanDuel, do that ASAP. Put that $5 bet on something that absolutely is going to win. I would think that's the Denver Broncos this week.
I would agree that that's the Denver Broncos this week.
So maybe throw it on that. If that thing wins, you get $300 in your account to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. All right, let's bring up some stats here. And the first thing I want to bring up, time on ice. I thought it when I looked on it, I was just the way that this game was going. I know it may be a little bit tilted because there were so many penalties. And how many did so the Kings had 4 power plays, while the Avs had 6.
Yep.
So okay, I mean four is what it is. But I didn't think, that shouldn't come into play as why the time on ice is so kind of like fluky as it is for the Avs.
Yeah.
I don't know why this isn't more even across the board and be where you want to be. Like we're loving the play of Gavin Brindley.
Yep.
And that was a lot in the early stages of the game because he only played 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Gabe Landeskog, 11 minutes and 12 seconds.
I wonder
what are we doing here? Okay.
I wonder if that's just trying to ease him still into the season. Like, even though they've said they weren't, and he's a full go and everything is just full send, I wonder if that's still not part of that. I'd also say too, like when the Avs really started rolling in the second, it felt like that was a lot from the top line. And I think Bucci Grass even said it on the broadcast it feels like they're double shifting, or like one, they'll do the top line and then another shift and then back to the top line. And Bednar was just, you guys have the momentum, you have it. So go, 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 go. And I think that's reflected a little bit, but
I mean, because you have so many guys in the 10, 11 minute range, and then everybody else is 20 and up. Yep. You have one guy that's kind of in the Valnichuskin's at 14:41. And then Brock Nelson, 23:15 for Brock Nelson. 20-47 Nathan McKinnon, 23-29 for Arturi Lehkonen, 21-12 for Necas. And everybody else is 10 or 11 minutes. And you don't see that when it's a 3-0 game or 4-1 game. Like,
No.
So I really wasn't. I don't really like look at time on ice while the game is going on. Like, I know who's on the ice and stuff like that, but I'm not like clocking it in my head. You get a good feel of who's out there. And when I saw this, I'm like, why is it so just? It's like there was one line, and then all 9 other guys were playing together. Weird, little weird. Because on the defensive end, it's not like that. Defense is spread out the way it normally is.
Pretty much should be, yeah.
Pretty much, yep. So that I thought was interesting. So your shots on goal, 23 for the Avs, 25 for the Kings. The third period, everything flipped. The Avs were getting, the second they had 11 shots on goal. The third, they only had 5.
Yeah. So,
and again, you're up. You're kind of playing, more defense because the other team is really forcing the issue. So I get that. What do we got? Power plays, 1 for 6 for the Avs, 1 for 4 for the Kings. Face-offs, 45% to 55%. That's about the norm for the Colorado Avalanche. Hits, 25 to 33. Kings had the 33. 21 block shots for the Avs compared to 14 for the Kings. So any other major stat? Give me like a big stat of the game for you.
All right. I've got one. And really, like I said, we were going to get to it in this segment for sure.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, and we talked about briefly earlier, it is a contract year for Martin Necas.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that players outperform themselves in contract years. Well, right now, Martin Necas is on pace for 164 goals this season. So we're going to have to pay him so much money.
Send it. 20% of the cap right now to Martin Necas
has to go.
I'll tell you what. I get a kick out of that stuff. Like when, for baseball, if opening day some guy hits 3 home runs, he's on pace for like 600 and something. Like I get a kick out of that stuff. So
I love that too.
Yeah. So for me,
especially with Necas being the hot topic, I
love it. My stat of the game, I was hoping it was going to be. Sometimes they're going to get like, deep rooted like analytic stats, and sometimes they're just very simple. And if Wedgwood got the shutout, that was going to be the stat. A goose egg. It was very simple. This one's almost as simple, but very difficult to accomplish. And that's Nathan McKinnon with that assist to Martin Necas is now the all-time leading point scorer in Colorado Avalanche history. Not combined, obviously, with the Nordiques, but for the Colorado Avalanche, 1,016 points. Surpasses, of course, Joe Sakic.
Which is in what he was tied with Joe Sakic with the exact same number of games with the Avs.
That's Twilight Zone stuff right there. If you look at those numbers, wild.
And he's like so much on pace to be exactly what Joe had. So I can't wait to just keep watching the rest of his career.
Yep.
But I mean, that is a heck of an accomplishment because nobody really probably tagged anyone to outperform Super Joe Sakic.
And it took this long to pass him.
Yep.
That's why he's one of the best, is because he puts up numbers that are difficult to pass.
Yeah.
So for Nathan McKinnon to do it, and McKinnon has what, 8, 9, 10 years left
potentially.
So we might not see anybody pass him for generations.
For a long time. Yep.
It's going to be crazy. All right, let's hear from people over on Subtext, their thoughts on the game. We got Adam. Overall, very solid game to start the season. Second line wasn't really on the score sheet tonight, but I think that line is going to be very good. They are strong on the forecheck and win a ton of board battles. Also love seeing the top line account for 6 points tonight. That's exactly what you need from your top line. Could have been even more if they were a little bit better on the power play, but that is in due time. Second, like that's what I love about this team is each line gives you something different while at the same time all being able to score. And that second line, once if that's what they're doing with Landeskog, just getting him up to speed a little bit, which if everything's good with him, like we're kind of just glossed over Valnichuskin, but he was everywhere,
good.
and he is everywhere. He's always everywhere.
Forecheck is just amazing from
He's
him.
got to be like, we always talk about how Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar have to be just like terrible to play against.
Yeah.
Nichushkin's in that conversation just because his forecheck is just, he's so lanky, he's so tall, like he's just everywhere. I thought he played a good game. Let's see. We got Craig. Great game. Took a while for the team to get going, but once they did, they were rolling. Looking forward to the guys gelling a little more. There's so Craig's sound check. Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do.
Okay.
Okay. I was there. I'd be celebrating until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard.
Gotcha.
Love it. That's
okay.
a good one.
I like that.
I like that one, Craig. Good job. Katie just said, great way to start the season. Go Avs. Christina, Marty starting out with a party. Making a case for a fat contract extension. Manson's hit knocked the wind out of me. That was it. It was a
that hit was awesome.
I felt that hit through the dang television. Cale doing Cale things. Nailed Nate being on point. Point leader in franchise history. Landy chirping. He was.
Yeah, he was.
Missed that stuff too. The fight, good Lord, the fights. Would have loved that shutout for Wedgie, and he worked hard for it and was outstanding. But nice to know LA could only score if they had a 2-man advantage. Hockey is back.
Yep.
So Brandon says, good start to the season. I'm happy the physicality from this team, especially Manson. And the sound check that Brandon has is Still Counting by Volbeat.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know of Volbeat. I saw them live actually, but I'm not in their catalog, so I don't know that track.
I'm good with that one. I think that's a pretty solid pick for this game.
Yeah.
I'm good with that one.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Vargar, strong start. So the story is Brindley. He really should have a spot in the lineup. Only get better. Unbelievable play by Makar on that Lekkonen goal. Expect Necas contract year bump. Imagine if he was the same player in the playoffs, because he won't be. Vargar, give the dude a chance. Like, he's had one chance on this team in the playoffs, and he was only with the team for 3 months. Give him a chance, man. And he's 26 years old.
It's coming. It's coming this year.
Yeah.
Like to see Mikko score 164 points in a season. Goals.
Let's see. Heather says, is it just me, or does it seem like this season's preseason and opening night had more fights than normal? Well, yeah, when two teams give you almost 500 minutes of penalty minutes, it was a little crazy, Heather. Why are we doing that stuff in the preseason? I hope Wedgie's hand didn't hurt more than that initial sting. Talking about the Brant Clark check. I finally got to start the season with our captain, depth all around, and the goofball Burns. Sound check. Thin Lizzy. The boys are back in town.
Yeah, fair.
Can't beat that one.
Nope.
So, all right, yeah. If you want to get your comments read, join the subtext. Join the subtext. There we go. Like I said, the link is in the show notes below. All right, let's wrap it up with our sound checks. That's where Zach and I pick a song each. Songs go up on a playlist over. We've expanded where they're going. So they're going up on Spotify, obviously, and YouTube Music. So we're putting them up on YouTube Music as well. All right. What do you got, sir? This 4-1 win.
The Avs win 4-1. It does look relatively dominant, especially for about a period and a half, I'd say. I think once we're undefeated, and so you're starting off the season that way. So I'm going Indestructible from Disturbed.
Oh, love it. Love it. I mean, right now,
the Avs are indestructible.
You can't say that they're not.
Yep.
Not
after one game.
Is that the name of the album too? Or is that on a different album?
No, what is the name of the album?
That's not on 10,000 Fists, right?
No,
it's on Indestructible. I think
the album is Indestructible.
Right.
I believe
it is. I think it is.
Yeah, double check that real quick.
Fantastic pick, my friend. Fantastic pick.
Thought that would be
I'm so mine is like kind of focused on really that second period.
Okay.
Because like the first took a little while to get going. Third was just a little bit of everything, especially with all the penalties. But that second period was what this team is capable of. And if they can tap into that game in, game out, like full 60,
Yeah.
this team is going to be indestructible, and we are going to be 82-0, and Martin Necas is going to score 160,000 points. That was just what this team is capable of doing. And it makes makes hell for the opponent. So I went with the band is Battle Beasts.
Okay.
And the song is Circus of Doom.
Nice.
As I just feel that's like kind of encapsulates like you're coming into like our circus here, and it's not going to be a fun one for you.
No,
it's going to be a nightmare for you. And if they can do that, like I'm looking forward to the next game and just focusing in on that second period, keep doing stuff like that. It's going to be nightmare for opposition for the duration of the season. So
love it.
That'll be Circus of Doom. Check it out. All right. Sound checks are in. Avalanche are in the win column. And we'll be back tomorrow to go over some morning leftovers that we're still kind of feeling about this game. So make sure you tune into that one. But for this one, and we'll get to the Kings uniforms as well.
Yes.
Surprise uniforms.
Surprise.
Another team has released.
We have to judge those now. Yep.
Yes. So that will be on tomorrow's episode. So tune into that one. But thank you for tuning in to this one, making it your first listen of the day. That's always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see everyone tomorrow, where you will have made it through another 24 hours, where Sidney Crosby's that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.